Guys, here's the first homework help video for 5.2. We'll go over the first three problems, 20, 24, and 26. So for number 20, I'm going to do it a little different than I have in the key, so just a second strategy for this. Looking at this side, I've got everything in I've got cosecant, cotangent, so I've got some weird ones over here. I'm just trying to make it look like sine. So at some point I'm going to convert everything to sine and cosine, but I think first I'm going to FOIL this out and just see what things look like after that. So when I FOIL this, cosecant times 1, cosecant times negative cosine, so minus cosecant cosine, cotangent times 1, so plus cotangent, and then cotangent times negative cosine, minus cotangent cosine. Now I'm going to take each one and I'm going to make it into its equivalent sine-cosine form. Cosecant is 1 over sine minus cosecant here is 1 over sine, so this term becomes cosine over sine. Cotangent is cosine over sine, and then this cotangent is cosine over sine, and then we've got another cosine there, so it's cosine cosine, so it's cosine squared. Simplifying now, I've got a minus cosine over sine and a plus cosine over sine, so those will cancel out. And now all the denominators are sine, so that's pretty nice. On the numerator, I've got 1, and I've got this minus cosine squared. We know what that is by this point, hopefully. And then the denominator is just sine. 1 minus cosine squared, Pythagorean identity, that's sine squared. So sine squared over sine, and 1 from the bottom cancels 1 from the top, so this is just equal to sine, so that one is good. All right, 24. This one's got a lot going on. On this side is all cosine, this side is your weird ones. So maybe right away I'm going to change this to 1 over sine minus cosine over sine squared, just to make things a little bit nicer on this side. Give me a goal to shoot for with this. So now if I take a look at this one, if I simplify this a little bit, they're both over sine, so I can say this is 1 minus cosine over sine, and the whole thing is squared. I'm not going to simplify this side any further. I'm going to start focusing on this side now. Here is a case where I'm going to use the conjugate to here to reduce this fraction a little bit. I've got a 1 plus cosine on the bottom, so I'm going to multiply 1 minus cosine on top and bottom. Multiplying 1 minus cosine on top and bottom. Up here, rather than FOILing this out, because I'm really shooting for like a fraction that's squared, I'm going to keep this as 1 minus cosine squared in parentheses. Because look at that, it's 1 minus cosine and it's squared on the outside, like I've already kind of fixed the numerator. On the denominator, when I FOIL that out, it is going to be 1 minus cosine squared. And so now, 1 minus cosine squared, that's sine squared, Pythagorean identity. So this is 1 minus cosine with a squared on the outside over sine squared. Well, here's a little trick with this. If the numerator and the denominator are both squared, that's the same thing as having the square on the outside of the entire fraction. So this, I could change to 1 minus cosine over sine, and then put that square on the outside. All right, our last one, 26. Again, I've got a couple things going on here. I've got tangent and cosine together. Maybe that I just switch it to sine cosine. So it's sine squared over cosine squared times cosine squared. That cancels. And now it's sine squared. Well, guess what? Sine squared and 1 is equal to 1 minus cosine squared. So I could even take this side and just say, oh, that's sine squared. Now both sides are equal, so I'm